I want to make it perfectly clear that I am not going against Israel. Criticizing something that Israel did, and also the Prime Minister, Benjamin Netanyahu, also condemned for actually happening and taking place, does not mean that I am going against or they're losing me as a supporter of Israel. Okay. So, me condemning something that actually happened, which is truly horrific. Even in war times, I know this sort of stuff actually does happen. I'm not saying that it doesn't. Yes, it does happen. Still doesn't take away the fact that it is horrible and it shouldn't actually happen, but it does. Okay. Now, I know that some people weren't exactly too pleased with what I was saying, but I'm not Michael Knowles. Let me just point that out. Michael is saying that he is like they're losing him as a supporter because of what they're doing. And the longer it continues, you're going to start seeing more and more people fall off and go, I'm no longer going to support Israel, which I think is wrong. It's sad. And I'm never going to do that. So you guys don't have to worry about me making a video that I thought needed to be made, because I also call out the atrocities that are going on at the hands of Muslims over in Africa, around the world, in the Middle East too. I also call that out. If you guys haven't seen any of my videos, you should definitely go and look at them before leaving just a comment based on one video that I've made. Now, I probably didn't do enough research because not enough information was out at that time that I made the video, but it looks as if it wasn't an intentional attack, which is a good thing. It's a very good thing. Looks like it was an intentional attack. The building still is standing. Yes, people were hurt, but it wasn't intentional. And I do not believe that Israel goes out of their way to intentionally harm Christians, you name it. Like innocent people, I don't think that they go out of their way to do that. Now, again, I will say I'm not falling away from my support in Israel. Okay. That's not going to happen. So you don't need to worry, because Jay's made one video about condemning Israel for one thing that they did. It's not anti-Semitic and it's not wrong to condemn something that Israel has done. Okay. I would still condemn the Allies for getting rid of innocent Germans. It's still horrible, right? But it doesn't mean you lose support for them. That big difference. So anyway, that all being said, I wanted to point that out because today we're going to be talking about something that is really interesting. And some of you may be going, whoa, this is actually pretty big. And I thought so too. This post got 6.5 million views. This is from Joel Berry. And you got to keep in mind all the people that take this post out of context. He's more than likely right, okay? And by the way, Candace Owens lies about this post, which we'll get into in just a moment. Joel goes, this won't be easy for people to hear, but there are only about 200 professed Catholics still living in Gaza, and they all support Hamas. True Christian faith still exists in Gaza, but it's all underground. Anyone allowed by Hamas to practice openly is allowed to do so only because they aid and support the terror regime. Yes. We have been at war for 1,400 years. Hamas executes Catholics, but we already knew that, which is why thousands of Catholics escaped Gaza after Hamas took over. The few hundred remaining support the regime. Now, this seems like it would be logically accurate, if I'm being honest, because we know that Hamas doesn't allow Christians, unless those so-called Christians, let's call them Catholics, unless those Catholics actually support the regime. Because why else would they be allowed? The other Christians are practicing underground in silence. You can always tell, okay, who actually supports who, and because of what they're allowed to do. If they're allowed to practice in a country or a place that doesn't actually accept Christianity as a whole, you got to wonder, why are they able to practice, right? So I think Joel is onto something here. Now, Candace didn't like what Joel had to say. And so she completely twists what he said and lies, because that's exactly what Candace Owens is very good at. She goes, nothing to see here. Just the Babylon Bee guys introducing a justification for the mass murder of Christians in Gaza, which was always the Israeli plan. No, it wasn't. Because if you look at the statistics of how many Christians are able to live in Israel, I'll have you know, it's a lot. The only place in the Middle East where Christians are actually truly safe to practice openly is in Israel. But according to Candace, they're not. Yeah, sure, let's just lie through the skin of our teeth. Let's just continue to twist the truth. This is your reminder to cancel your Babylon Bee subscription if you have not yet done so. Terrible quality memes goes, you'll twist anything to get clicks, won't you? An honest person knows that's not what's going on here. And why aren't you talking about the genocide of Druze and Christians happening in Syria? I haven't heard you say a word about it. You won't hear her say a word about it at all, because it doesn't involve the Jews. Everything needs to involve the Jews for Candace, to talk about it. She's got to bash the Jews. Otherwise, crickets. Now, I've made video after video about the true atrocities that are going on at the moment over in Syria. It's horrendous. I can't stand it. The videos that I have been seeing over on X, my goodness, I've had to scroll past them as quickly as I possibly can, because they're not good to watch. They're really not. They hurt. But a Syrian Orthodox church has issued an urgent plea to the world: save us from the Islamists. I raise my voice to the international community and the United Nations, pleading for help. They're killing both young and old. I pray this cry reaches the whole world. This is real. This is going on. And all Candace Owens cares about is trying to call out someone that is telling the truth of what's happening in Gaza. To these so-called Christians, these Catholics in Gaza that do support the horrible regime. Because why else would they be allowed to practice, I wonder, considering they've killed many, many other Christians? Can you say they're really Catholic, or they're just getting something for it? Who knows? But Muslims have killed 613,000 in Syria, 380,000 in Yemen, 240,000 in Afghanistan, 500,000 in Sudan, 300,000 in Iraq, 62,000 in Nigeria. No protests, no outrage, because Jews are not involved. And Candace Owens will do everything she possibly can to get clicks. She will lie, twist the truth, all because for her, it gets her attention. Persian Jewess goes, Christians are being slaughtered by Islamists in Suwanda, Syria. You're noticeably silent about that. Amazing how you open your mouth when you can bash Jewish people. Silence from Candace Owens after 150,000 Nigerian Christians were slaughtered by Islamist groups. James Lindsay goes, why you always got to be lying, crazy Candace Owens? Indeed. Why has she always got to be lying? Again, she's got an agenda. It's all to do with the Jews. And Joel Berry goes, I love my Catholic brothers and sisters. I reject all the slander and twisting of what I say, and I'll never stop calling out corruption and compromise in the church. That's something godly. Protestants and Catholics should unite around. I apologize for nothing. Go pound sand. I love Joel. Joel and Seth, I actually agree a lot more than pretty much most of the people that I see on X nowadays. Thank you to all the kind souls who have reached out with words and prayers of support this weekend. There are evil forces trying to break up MAGA along racial and religious sectarian lines, and it's encouraging to know some people of wisdom and discernment see right through it. Don't be intimidated by these people. Now, yeah, 100%. There are definitely evil forces at work, and one of those evil forces is, they guessed it, ladies and gentlemen, Candace Owens. She even thinks that Harvard is a Mossad base and insinuates Zohan Mandani is a Mossad plant. How do you not see her as clinically insane? Because she says the other day, I believe it was, that if you don't see that Israel is the enemy, you are clinically insane. She is just wildly off the rails. But she's gone thinking this might be the same deal with Zohran Mandani, given the fact that his mother was married just before she became pregnant with him to a Jewish New Yorker named Mitch Epstein for 10 years. Oh, boy. Oh, and she attended Harvard, which is effectively a Mossad base. Right. Harvard, the same Harvard, that holds loads of pro-Palestinian protests. Same Harvard. Interesting. Right. If it really was a Mossad base, I think there would be some massive changes at Harvard with the students, but that's just me personally. Hey, can you say anything more crazy than Candace Owens? Probably not. James Lindsay goes, pay attention to who supports Joel Berry and the Babylon Bee, who attacks them and who stays silent. It's very pertinent information. Because Catholics being offended by Joel and the Bee must be evil woke writers. They could never be devout believers defending their faith, church, and fellow Catholics. Inhale, calm your mind, exhale, breathe your butt hurt out into the wind and let it blow away. Repeat until calm. Reassess the situation. Gotta love James Lindsay sometimes, right? It is truly, truly crazy times that we are living in at the moment, and we've got to call out the grifters and the liars like Candace Owens. And if anyone thinks that she is sane, I really do worry about your mental health too. But anyway, that's enough from me. You guys take care, be blessed, and I'll see you all in the next video.